Hello everyone, and welcome or welcome back if you're already a subscriber or you're following my YouTube channel. I got a webcam in, obviously, as you can see, so this will be like a proper introduction slash kind of update video for the channel, stuff that I've been working on and am currently working on. I'm going through, I haven't posted in a while, haven't been on Twitch in a while. Going through a bunch of stuff, IRL. I'm trying to sell my house and hopefully go back and finish my engineering degree. So that's one of the plans. I am a regular, average white dude living in Virginia. I do construction work. I'm an electrician. The only thing I have left in the electrical field is to get my master's license. I've done fire alarms, security, telephones. I've worked on commercial jobs, houses, American Family Fitness, Food Lions. Done quite a few of each of those. Hopefully the audio from the webcam will be better than my headset microphone. Not sure why, but it's for some reason the audio, that microphone is not that great, even though it's a Steel Series. It's supposed to be pretty good build quality and everything. Like I said, talked about my job. I'm into all sorts of things. I like astronomy, physics, all the sciences really. Animation, obviously, video games. I like riding my motorcycle. I like going outdoors. One of my favorite things to do around here is there's a river nearby, the James River, and there's a place downtown, a public place where you can go and you can like climb out on the rocks, like out in the river and stuff. You can do fishing out there, whatever. There's woods, like hiking trails, moderate rock climbing. They're not very big rocks. There is a small like quarry on the island where people have events like rock climbing events. I've seen people set up a zip line at the top and zip line back down to the trail at the bottom. That was pretty cool. Let me show you the animation stuff. Find Blender real quick. So you can see here we have Vex. See, right now I have the hands selected, but they're separate from the arms, and all of these pieces are separate. You can see over here, basically all of these objects are different parts that make up this mesh. So that would make it more difficult to animate, and while Blender does have ways of dealing with separated items, or like this cloak, we want to be outside of this doublet or vest armor, whatever you want to call it, but we would basically have to go through all of these objects and either transfer the weights of the vertex groups where they join or collide or whatever. So that's what is being polished up right now, getting all that stuff joined actually on the object itself. So all I have to do is parent it to the mesh, and it might be something like the cloak. I would just transfer the weights from these couple of vertex groups around the shoulders and then attach it, or transfer the weight painting. And then, anyway, these are all of the animations I've done. Here's another animation, again in the same vein, like a fantasy kind of fight scene. You can see when I added the troll mesh, it slowed the frame rate way down. So if I go over here, the modifiers, oh, they're already turned down. But yeah, if you get that issue and you have a really polished mesh, you can go in here, select the object, go to the properties tab, this wrench, and you could go down and lower the number of subdivides and stuff, and that will reduce the polygon count and reduce the hindrance on the performance of the computer. Speaking of which, I guess that would do it for Blender. I'll open up Unity while I show you the rig that I'm working with. So here is my rig. Let's make sure I get that in the computer. There. So I've had to move the core and apparently took the USB loose. Anyway, there it is. It's all MSI pretty much, except for the tower. The tower is a Rosewill Nighthawk. I got a large tower so that I could get an extended motherboard. The extended motherboard allows for multiple CPUs and different cool features like that. As you can see, there's plenty of room to work in it. Unity. So here is my rig. Let's make sure I get that in the computer. There. So I've had to move the core and apparently took the USB loose. Anyway, there it is. It's all MSI pretty much, except for the tower. The tower is a Rosewill Nighthawk. I got a large tower so that I could get an extended motherboard. The extended motherboard allows for multiple CPUs and different cool features like that. As you can see, there's plenty of room to work in it. Here's a game I'm working on in Unity, once it loads up. So you can see we have one character with a bunch of sprites. I'll go back to the other scene and show you the animation here in just a sec. So this is going to be basically like a hub village where players would start. It's going to be a JRPG, I guess, but not necessarily a linear kind of, it's all there when you buy the game. I'm thinking of doing it in chunks. So I would have this hub village, it would have areas around it, and those areas would have quests. The quests reset every 6 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, whatever. And there would be sets of random quests. You go in, maybe have procedurally generated monsters that would scale with your level. The goal being, so you would have an overarching story that you're working towards, and then later on, maybe, once I get this first one done, maybe I put it on Steam for like 50 cents, and then I could do another hub or another quest area like in a different direction from this hub, so I could focus on the west side maybe first and then build on the east side next and then go up north and south, something like that. So that's the idea for this one. I also have ideas for a stealth kind of oriented game that would also be D&D-esque. I've always been an RPG fan ever since the Final Fantasy II, which was actually Final Fantasy IV. If you're not familiar, the U.S. did not get a release for Final Fantasy 2 and 3, the official 2 and 3. We got 2, which was number 4, and we got 3, which was actually number 6. So we also did not get 5 as an official release until they came out. 5 came out as a PlayStation package for another Square game. Chrono Cross, maybe, or maybe there was also an Final Fantasy anthology that came out. I forget which games were on that one. It might have been 1 and 2. Anyway, I've always been an RPG fan. I recently started my own D&D campaign. Well, it's not my campaign. I play a campaign with my brother and some friends. So that's a lot of fun. I might use that story for this game initially. So what we've got so far from the DM is the queen of the area is looking for a magical item that was stolen by a beholder, and there are other factions that get involved, stuff like that. So I think that'll do it for the Unity. Oh, let me show you the other scene. So go to scenes, go to the world map. Here I actually have a character that is movable and junk. She has animations, walking around. So far I just have the one animation, so it only plays when I'm holding left. So yeah, I gotta set up the camera, finish setting up the world map. So there's gonna be, you know, a cave, maybe like a forest area, and then like a lake, or, you know, different kinds of stuff, caves, mines, going underground, and maybe there'll be a sky town. We shall see. Yeah, I like riding my motorcycle. This is actually my motorcycle in the background here. I like astronomy. I have a telescope and a Newton 114 reflecting telescope. Sorry. It is quite good for taking pictures of planets in our solar system. I've seen good pictures of like Saturn and Jupiter that people supposedly took with that telescope. So I'll just back over a little bit. You can find them on the internet. They're pretty good. So basically with the nearest zoom, so basically you're looking at the telescope through the weakest settings, meaning you cannot see as far as you could. The moon fills up the viewing area. So when you look through the eyepiece, the moon perfectly fills up the circular area that you're looking through. And then you can zoom in from there. You can zoom in and maybe see like a half, or maybe a little less than a half, a little more than a third of the moon, and then you can zoom right up on it like you're counting the craters on the moon. It's pretty cool. And move my notes over here. Programming. I also like programming. So in Unity, all those controls are actually programmed in C#. I did not use Playmaker. It's all coded from scratch. Programming folder. These are all programs that I've made. My favorite one so far is this one. So all it does right now is that, but if we open it in Python, sorry, my nose is itching. So if we open it in Python, we actually get access to the libraries. So if we open this, you can see the code. This might not be the right version. Let's try a different version. Let's try character builder. Nope. So basically what it's going to do, it asks you what type of character you want. If when you pick one, it prints out a description of whichever character you typed in. Maybe this is it. Yeah, here we go. So each class, I guess you can't see that. So each class, or yeah, each character class has a description. So it asks for an input with which path you choose to take, which class you're going to take. So then you pick one, it displays the description so you get an idea of what it is you're choosing, and then if you confirm it by typing it in again, then it will play one of these. So if you pick character Ranger, it will display, it will ask if you want to confirm, and then it will use this class choose care, which is this, making the character, that choice that you made, true. So when you play, so we can see that in action. Let's run this. And we'll just pick War, because I know that one has a decent item. And you can't see that either because it's on the wrong monitor. So it asks me which path I will take. I picked Warrior, and it gives me a description of the Warrior, asks me to confirm. I will say no, just so we can see it work again. So it took me back and asked me to choose another one. So I'll choose Warrior, and then whoops, I will say yes. And if we minimize this, we can see the Python turtle graphics drew this. It's a pentagon, but yeah, it's a shield was the idea. But a very simple shield. So the way the code drew this is it starts here. I told it to go 360 divided by the number of sides in distance. So 360 divided by 5 is 72. So it went 72, and then I told it to turn 360 divided by the number of angles, so which is also 5, because you got one side, one angle, one side, one angle, one side, one angle, one side, one angle, and then you get to the end. So it goes 72 length, 72 units, however Python comes up with that. It turns 72 degrees to the right. You also have to give it the direction to turn, and then it travels 72, turn 72, travel, turn, travel, turn, travel, and then it's done. So that's what all this junk is. Yep. So programming, animation, and look at my notes again. Programming, animation, posted a couple of bike videos. The in the future, I will probably point the camera backwards, because that would probably be a better view if you're watching a video, so you can actually see what's going on around instead of just looking at my back, my bright red jacket. I am thinking of starting a Subscribe Star, or maybe like a Kickstarter. I have other ideas for animation stuff. I have talked to the Critical Role. Well, I sent them an email asking them if they would be interested in maybe doing an animated series, not based on the current or previous campaign, but characters like Gilmore and Allura from the first campaign, Orly. He's an aged character in the new campaign, so maybe his backstory could tie in with Gilmore and Allura's. I think it would be pretty cool to do as an animated series. And like you saw the Vex, or the Vax mesh I showed you earlier, it could be very like cartoony type shaders and textures, and try to keep it as chill as possible to get as wide an audience as possible. It's D&D, so obviously there's going to be some violence, so it'll probably have to be at least like a Y7 type thing. I guess all that's left is the politics. This one I'm not as much into as I feel like it's a necessary evil, and it is up to the citizens under said governments that we remain vigilant and hold the people that want to take on that responsibility, we hold them accountable. And I won't really get too deep into it here, but politics, the way I look at politics, the government has encroached too far at this point. The government is in everything. Political correctness is killing industries. I mean, look at the gaming industry, movies, like the Ghostbusters movie. I'm not going to say it was a bad movie. I personally have not seen it, but I think the problem that people have with it is not that you want to make women Ghostbusters or have all female Ghostbusters or make Spider-Man gay, or, you know, stop punching old ladies in Red Dead Redemption, or whatever it is. It's, for one, it's a video game. For two, you can make your own. You don't have to take the Ghostbusters and make it feminist. You don't have to take Spider-Man and make it gay. Make your own gay superhero. You'll probably get a lot better response, a lot better reaction from people if you make it your own instead of taking someone else's and basically trying to force the way you think it should be on other people. And I think that's where the real problems with the whole PC thing, the SJWs and all of that, it's that you say you're against oppressing people, you're against oppression, and everyone's opinion has value, but then there's people that say white people are more valuable than black people, or white people can't talk about oppression because they're white people. I mean, if there is white privilege out there, please, for the love of God, show me where I can get it, because I would love to have some privilege right about now. Going out and busting my ass at work every day kind of fucking sucks, but it is what it is. You have to survive in this world, and in this world you need money, unfortunately. Personally, I might prefer a bartering system, but that's a topic for another video. But again, I used to say I'm on the right, but recently, with everything that's going on, which is why I said I'm thinking of starting a Subscribestar and not a Patreon, because they banned people like Sarbon Avocad, who has never said anything really mean or hateful to anyone. He's not racist against non-whites. The thing that he was banned from Patreon for, he was actually calling out white supremacists and KKK Nazis or whatever. I mean, it's, again, they say they're for free speech and that everyone's voice should be heard, but then they shut down certain voices. And Sargon, Carl Benjamin, actually just did a video with Modern Wisdom, which I think you should check out, because he talks about it, about how when Patreon shut down his account, they weren't just shutting off his account and his means to speak out and be public. He was shutting off our ability, our mechanism for hearing his thoughts and hearing the ideas that he expressed. And that's what I think, that's really the main turnoff, at least to me. Maybe for other people too. But anyway, like I said, I'm into all of these things. I would love to get more into any of them full time. So sound off in the comments. Let me know what you want to see more of. Did you subscribe for the Blender videos, or was it one of the Lego videos? Maybe it was an Overwatch video. Let me know. I look forward to seeing and hopefully working on bringing more of it, whatever it is. And thanks so much for watching. I've already gained and got so much more than I ever thought I would have when I made my first video 2 years ago. And I will catch y'all later.